Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Conservative Poet. We are live. This is a new segment of the show that I am doing. So, trying to go live just about every day, at least throughout the month of December. So, welcome again to the show. My name is Amania, and I'm so happy that you are here. So, what I'd like to do with these live streams is to just cover all of the hot topics that we are seeing currently. So we're going to cover a couple of things from what you saw. We're talking Kash Patel and him being the new FBI director. Well, not yet until he gets officiated. And we're going to talk about Justin Trudeau and his trip to Mar-A-Lago to kiss the ring. And we're also going to throw in there the big news of Hunter Biden getting a pardon from his president daddy. As you all know, he said that President Daddy said that, yeah, we're not going to do that. Yeah, we're not going to do. Yeah, it's happened. So it happened over the weekend. So we're going to talk about that. And what I'd like to also add into this is we want to throw in a little bit of comedy. I want to throw in some history, and I want to just kind of craft it in that way. And so I have a parody clip that I want to share. And that is a clip that I came across a couple of weeks ago. And I've been like, okay, I want to show this, I want to do this, but I haven't thought of a way to present it. And it's a funny parody Christian skit. And I thought it would be fun to start things off light so that we can just get ourselves acclimated in these things. So I'm going to play this Christmas or Christian skit and just have a little fun with it, you guys. We're going to have a little fun with it. So I'm going to, and please, as a reminder, I am very challenged when it comes to these tech things because this is a one-woman show doing everything. So please bear with me. I may not, press the right buttons when it comes to things. But before we get into it, I want to just give just the housekeeping rule that I have right here. And so that is, I do have super chats here and super thank yous if you are interested in helping the channel with those things throughout the stream. And when you do, I will talk about your comment and you'll get a nice little shaking of the bell, or you will also get our talking President Trump. You guys, I've had this since 2018. And so I guess it's a classic at this point. So President Trump does like 5 different sayings on here. So you never know what's going to come out of his mouth, literally, like the human. You never know what's going to come out of his mouth. So we're going to introduce this to our panel, to our conversations. Every time we get a super chat, we'll play that. The greatest president that God ever created, Donald J. Trump. If you don't believe him, watch and see what happens next year, 2025. All right, so we're going to play our comedy. So we're going to add that to the screen.
Christians have been saying some pretty negative things about Kamala Harris. But what are real Christians saying?
I'm a spokesperson for Christians for Harris, and I'm here to tell you why the Bible fully supports your vote for Kamala this election. You see, we believe Harris is the perfect candidate for Christians who really want to love their neighbor. Because when your neighbor wants to promote homosexuality in your schools, the most loving thing a Christian can do is say yes. When your neighbor wants to murder their baby in the womb, the most loving thing a Christian can do is say yes. And when your neighbor wants to castrate their children in the name of radical gender ideology, the most loving thing a Christian can do is say yes. And how can I help you with that? You see, as Christians for Kamala, we believe that true Christianity is not black and white words on a page, but the multicolored spectrum of the rainbow. And Kamala is the embodiment of that rainbow. But don't take it from me. Listen to what other super legit Christians are saying.
Our votes are to protect the LGBT community who continually faces marginalization and abuse from those who claim to stand on the moral values of the Christian faith.
One path of Christianity leads you to Christian nationalism, and the other path leads to a Christianity that is inspired by the teachings of Jesus. And that's where you find all of us holding hands with the amazing rainbow and diversity of our humanity.
I'm a Christian who believes that the health care of trans kids should not be mandated or limited by middle-aged conservative blowhards with large social media following. That's why I'm here to throw my support for President of the United States to Kamala Harris.
As you can see, if you are a Christian who plans on voting for Kamala, you are not alone. You might even say our name is Legion, for we are many. And contrary to objections from those bigoted evangelicals, being a Christian for Kamala does not mean you stand opposed to the Bible. That's outrageous. And to prove just how much we cherish the Bible, we are sending all allies a free copy of our favorite Bible translation, the Blank Page Translation, or as I like to call it, the BPT. This is the only Bible translation you will ever need to protect yourself from harmful ideas such as there are only two sexes, and marriage is defined as a lifelong covenant between one man and one woman, and all human life is sacred and begins at the moment of conception. Ooh, just saying those words makes me feel so unsafe. So this November, cast your vote for someone who won't cast away your bodily autonomy. Vote for Kamala Harris, because if you don't, you're going to hell.
Yeah, that has brought me funnies. I've been laughing at that for a while. Like, I'm just like, when do I share this? Even though her campaign is over, I just never had the time to like incorporate it into anything. But I thought today we would start off with that. Tell me in the comments. Did you enjoy that parody skit? Do you think that they were wrong in the way they presented this? Like, because I thought it was really quite funny. Because what we're doing, friends, is literally making fun of the insanity that we're seeing. That's what it is. It's so bizarre and so sad and so out there that if we don't, we're gonna lose our minds, because cutting off children's parts, there's nothing funny about it. But when you look at the reality of it, it's insanity. When you talk about destroying the relationship between man and woman, it's crazy. God created us to become one with man and woman. These are the two, but man and man, it just doesn't mix, right? So when you're looking at it, Christianity is the sane person in the room, right? That's who's in the room. Christianity is the sane person in the room. So tell me again if you enjoyed that. And if you didn't, it's okay, because I did. Enjoyed it every time. All right, so we're going to get into our stories. And the first one up is Kash Patel. We love Kash Patel. He has been a fighter for the movement for a really long time. And he has been outspoken about it. They've called him all kinds of names, conspiracy theories, and you know how they call everybody. And it is so funny how the conspiracy theories is the ones who are making sense, right? It's coming out that, oh, they were right. Those conspiracy theories, yeah, they were right about a lot of things. And so Kash Patel is the guy President Trump has picked to be the FBI director. And so many people on the left, of course, the media is having serious breakdowns about that. So we're going to take a clip letting us know a little bit about Kash Patel and what's happening. And we're going to move through it because I have a couple of different clips in reference to him. And we're going to get into it right now. So, Mr. Kash Patel.
Final touches on this long holiday weekend and the leftovers that go with it. The economy and border loom large as the nation and world anticipate a second Trump administration. Meanwhile, President Biden tries to secure last-minute diplomatic breakthroughs, Congress tackles unfinished business, and retailers slash prices to launch the holiday shopping season in this final month of 2024. But we begin this morning with the latest on the Trump transition with senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang.
Kash Patel's pending nomination for FBI director embodies President-elect Trump's desire to disrupt federal law enforcement agencies.
I'd shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one and reopening the next day as a museum of the deep state.
Patel rose to prominence during Trump's first term when he helped lead the charge against the DOJ's investigation of Russia meddling in the 2016 election.
And Kash Patel is here, one of our real warriors.
The current FBI director, Christopher Wray, who was appointed by Trump in 2017, has 3 years left on a 10-year term. He would have to resign or be fired to create an opening. The FBI says Director Wray's focus remains on the men and women of the FBI, the people we do the work with, and the people we do the work for. Trump also announced he has selected son-in-law Jared Kushner's father, Charles Kushner, to serve as the next U.S. ambassador to France. Kushner was pardoned by Trump in 2020 after serving time in prison as part of a 2-year sentence on federal criminal charges. As Trump fills his administration, he's also meeting with world leaders.
It was an excellent conversation.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau had dinner with Trump at Mar-A-Lago on Friday, then posted, "I look forward to the work we can do together again." But Trump's threat to impose a 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico remains, unless, he says, the countries take action to stop migrants and drugs from entering the U.S. border.
Both North American allies say they are preparing retaliatory tariffs on U.S. exports. Now, Trump has issued a new threat against a group of 9 countries, including Brazil, Russia, and China. He says if they try to shy away from the U.S. dollar on international trade, he would impose a 100% tariff on their goods.
Woo! 100% tariff on their goods. Yeah, but we're going to stick to Kash Patel here. So Kash Patel, as you saw, he is not afraid. Unapologetically, he is not afraid to say exactly what it is that he's going to do. So there are other clippings of him out there talking more in reference to what he would do as he becomes, if he were to become. And look at that. He wanted it, and now Trump is making that come true. I tell you, Trump is really the dream maker. So Kash Patel had an interview where he talked, you saw a little bit about it there, where he talked about how he would day one start to implement his plan to break up the FBI, to really make it efficient again. And so he is eager and ready to do that. He already has a plan in place to do this. He's just going to be implemented in, and he's going to get the work done. So, of course, as you can see, the media is really upset about Kash Patel being put in that position. Many of them are calling him, oh, he's a loyalist to Trump. Oh, he's a Trump loyal. You'll see that word is being dropped every time they talk about him, every time they bring him up. Oh, he's a Trump loyalist. So he's going to be put in place to do. He's vowed to take revenge on Trump's haters. He's vowed to take revenge on those who came after Trump. And now they're talking about, well, we think we want to keep the FBI and the DOJ and all of these things separate, right? That's what they want. But they fail to remember that during this time that the FBI were at school board meetings harassing people like me, harassing people like you for going up and talking about the filth that's in the books, right? They were hunting us down. School board moms and dads who were going to talk about these issues. The FBI. That's what Biden's FBI did, right? That's what they did. So then now they want to say, yeah, we want to keep those separate. We don't want the FBI being, the hand of the president to go out and do these things. And then let's talk a little bit about January 6th. Again, the FBI out here harassing people who went to their country's capital. Like, that's a crime. You know, they were out here, they're still out here hunting people down. Yeah. So this is the same FBI. Yeah, it needs a new leader, and Kash Patel is going to be that person who's going to make the FBI great again so that they can do the proper work that they were designed for. And if they are no longer needed, then they can cast it to the side. But his plan is to make it smaller than it actually is now, because right now they have jobs upon jobs upon jobs and people upon people who are actually doing nothing. So he says, I'm going to take them and put them in the field. So maybe they can take those guys. I think it's like 5,000. Maybe they can take those guys and help out Tom Homan with this illegal immigration situation that he's working on. So we're going to put them to work in the areas that they need. So why not pull the FBI guys who's sitting around drinking coffee, watching YouTube all day, and they can put them to work in the field. So that's part of Kash Patel's plans. Let's take another looking at one of the things that another news reporter is talking about when it comes to Kash Patel, and pick up on that. Kash Patel, the loyalist for Trump.
Take on the breaking news that is coming into our newsroom. President-elect Trump selecting Kash Patel as his FBI director. As a former FBI agent, what do you make of this pick? Is there any insight into Kash that you can share?
Look, this is difficult because I really do try to be apolitical in the things that I say, but I want to back this up with a little bit of fact first. I think the first thing is there is no question, in my opinion, and I've been very candid about this, that the FBI does need some change. There's no question. But my concern about appointing someone like Kash Patel is this staunch loyalty that he has, and the fact that he has talked about before that he really wants to, I guess, almost seek revenge or avenge those who have wronged Trump. And that is not the purpose of the FBI. And so I am concerned about the scope he will have. However, at the same time, I do like the idea of reducing sort of the administrative workforce at the FBI, putting that back into the field office and really have some institutional change. But I am very, very concerned that he will use the FBI as really a weapon to go after political adversaries. And that's not what its intent is.
Why is it important that the FBI maintain some level of autonomy from the president?
You know, I think the reality is both CIA, FBI, we really take an oath not to take political sides. Now, there is no question that there have been issues at the FBI and really the CIA, quite frankly, in doing that. And that's not doing them any favors in this. But it is really, really important that the American people see these institutions really as not being, working at the behest of any kind of political party. They have to remain blind to that because justice is blind.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com.
Really? Justice is blind, huh? Really? Yeah, talk to the people of January 6th who's being haunted, who are in prison right now. Talk to those people who lost their livelihoods over nonsense. Talk to those people who Biden's DOJ and Biden's FBI has been out here harassing the community. Talk to those people about the biasness. And oh yeah, he's a Trump loyalist. He may use the FBI to go after Trump's political enemies. No, I think what he's going to do is he's going to make the FBI efficient again. Right? There's a lot of fat there and they keep growing and growing and growing, but yet what are they actually doing? Are they really protecting Americans? They have turned they have turned on Americans. They should be out there dealing with the criminals that's walking across the border. That's where they should be focusing on the interior criminals that we have walking around in this country. Foreign criminals. Why are you out there doing that, FBI? Why are you trying to lock up innocent Americans who went to January 6th or who went to school board meetings? Why aren't you out here trying to get other people? So I want to move into another part of this conversation is the people who are the bureaucrats, right, in the deep state. Those people who has a fear of Kash Patel coming in and who what do? Giving them the hammer. See my little hammer? Thank you, Judge Bain. This came from Judge Bain. So yes. So they are afraid of Kash Patel coming in and cleaning up house because they know that they have been doing some really, really bad things. And Kash Patel is going to go in and really find those things that, yeah, you shouldn't have done that. Yeah, you shouldn't have done that. Yeah, you shouldn't have done that. So we're going to take another clipping of, I think is it Christopher Ray? Somebody that they're interviewing, and Jake Sullivan. They're going to be interviewing Jake Sullivan, who is who's close to all of this, and they're going to ask him, "Are you afraid of Kash Patel coming for you? Are you afraid of Kash Patel giving you that?"
Much to get to today, but since you are such a key national security official, I do want to ask you about President-elect Trump's decision to nominate Kash Patel as FBI director. I mean, as you know, he's a fierce Trump loyalist. He's vowed to go after the deep state. You have worked closely with the current FBI director. What do you think it would mean to have Kash Patel in that role?
Well, look, I'm not going to speak to President-elect Trump's nominees. I'll let him speak for his own rationale. What I will say is how the Biden administration has approached the position of FBI director. We inherited Director Chris Wray, who has done a very good job in the role, from President-elect Trump, who appointed him to a 10-year term. And what makes the FBI director different from most other nominees is they're not just appointed for one term of a president. They're appointed for enough time to last past 2 terms of a president because they're supposed to be insulated from politics. President Biden scrupulously adhered to that longstanding bipartisan tradition, and for a good reason, because the FBI director should not be subject to the whims of the twos and fro's of politics. But as for the announcement yesterday or the decisions President-elect Trump has made, they'll have to speak to that themselves.
Sir, Kash Patel also published a book where he listed people who are part of the deep state. Your name is on that list. Would it concern you to have him have all the powers of federal investigations? And would you fear personal retribution?
Look, I wake up every day to try to defend this country and protect the national interest. I got 50 days left. I'm going to stay totally focused on every single one of those days to make sure that we have a smooth handoff to the next team and we put them in the best strategic position possible. And I can't spend my time worrying about other things at this point.
Actually, friend, I do think he's spending a lot of his time worried about these things because did you see him? He's so pale white like a ghost, right? Just like a ghost. I think he's spending his time wondering, Kash Patel is coming for me. Kash Patel is coming. Oh my God. Oh my God. They're going to start cleaning up their act, cleaning up whatever it is that they have been doing, hiding the bodies, reburying them. I don't know, in different countries. I don't know. But yeah, that guy is definitely scared. Oh, I've only got 50 days left. I'm going to continue to work hard for the American people. That's what I'm going to do for my next 50 days. Yeah, Kash Patel is coming. And these people are scared shitless, right? And I'm sure I'm going to find more clippings of other people being asked those questions. And as you saw with the previous clip, they said, yeah, that the FBI, he's got 50 days left and he's going to continue to work hard for the American people, just like that guy. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets fired, the other guy gets fired, everybody gets fired. Because it's Christopher Wray, this current FBI, who went after school board mommies, people who went to school board meetings. I can never stop that because they put the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, on people who went to school board meetings to say, I want to protect my child from pornography. I want to protect my child from transgenderism. I want to protect my child from these demonic things. And guess what? They got the FBI suck on them. Kash Patel, hopefully, President Trump will have no problems. He will be able to be put into the system, into place, and he's already got a plan. Like I said, he'll be able to go in day one. He said at day one, we're going to get this thing going. They're going to cut the fat and they're going to remove some of the nonsense and maybe make the FBI great again. So friends, we're going to take a quick break and I'm going to just play you a quick video. Okay, friends. So you just saw my Christmas commercial there. And so you saw everything we have. So anyway, hopefully you can pick something up. 30% off theorlandopatriot.com. You can go there, support the channel, support what I'm doing, support these new live streams that we've got going on, which I'm actually having some fun. Are you having any fun in there? Just drop me a line in the comment. Yes, I'm having fun. Yes, I like it. You need to do this. You need to do that. All criticism, all comments help. So criticisms are welcome as well. Thank you. So again, orlandopatriot.com, 30% off your purchase. Great patriotic gifts for friends, candles, so on, t-shirts, mugs, and so on. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about where's Hunter Biden. So, as you know, on this channel, I started my channel as a spoken word channel, and we talked a lot. Excuse me, friends. Excuse me. We talked a lot about Joe Biden at that time. And well, we still talk a lot about now that he's, irrelevant. There's nothing really to talk about old Joe about, but Hunter Biden, different story. So Hunter Biden, friends, has been given a pardon from his president father. And so we're not surprised by this. Obviously, anybody would pardon their son or their daughter, The Biden family is who they are. They are the Biden crime family. And so, of course, he's going to pardon his son. And Hunter has done some really, really shady things. I mean, aside from being a crackhead, I know being a crackhead is, he's got an addiction problem. But yeah, he's a crackhead. And this crackhead was doing business, making money, making millions on the name of Biden. And so he has peddled his influence. He has sold out the country using his father's status to do so. And so I'm kind of curious, again, as to why is it that Hunter Biden the charges are just for, purchasing a gun. That's the only thing they were able to get him on, not trafficking, not doing, apprehensible things to women. And we have video on that Laptop from Hell tells you all about that. And so, but my main thing is the money that he made overseas selling information about the United States of America, where he was able to collect files, see things that Joe Biden brought home from the office, from Washington, D.C., and brought them home where he had those things laid around, and Hunter Biden were able to go through things and sell information, and got himself rich, got himself to be on all kinds of boards across the world. But all he got was a gun charge thing for filling out paperwork incorrectly in purchasing a weapon. Of all the things he's done, that's the only thing. And Joe Biden goes into a lengthy letter in reference into this, and how his son has been mistreated. They were railroading his son. Yeah, that's what he had to say. Let's take a listen.
Breaking news just into our newsroom. We want to get this into you. We do know that President Biden has officially pardoned his son, Hunter Biden. I do want to show you this tweet that we have from the Associated Press talking about the fact that President Joe Biden has pardoned his son, sparing the younger Biden with a possible prison sentence for federal felony gun and tax convictions, and the reversing of his past promises at this time to not use the extraordinary powers of the presidency for the benefit of his family members. So we do know that this is happening. The Democratic president had previously said he wouldn't pardon his son or commute his sentence after his convictions in the two cases in Delaware and California. Pulling up some video for you as well. Of course, we know that this is going to be a statement that we have now from President Biden as well. He says, "Today I signed a pardon for my son Hunter. From the day I took office, I said I would not interfere with the Justice Department's decision making. And I kept my word, even as I have watched my son being selectively and unfairly prosecuted without aggravating factors like use in a crime, multiple purchases, or buying a weapon as a straw purchaser. People are almost never brought to trial on felony charges solely for how they filled out a gun form." I want to show you this tweet as well that does have a piece of the statement there. But he also goes on to say those who were late paying their taxes because of serious addictions but paid them back subsequently with interest and penalties are typically given non-criminal resolutions. It is clear that Hunter was treated differently. The charges in his case came about only after several of my political opponents in Congress instigated them to attack me and oppose my election. Then a careful negotiated plea deal agreed to by the Department of Justice unraveled in the courtroom, with a number of my political opponents in Congress taking credit for bringing political pressure on the process. Had the plea deal held, it would have been a fair, reasonable resolution of Hunter's cases. I do want to continue on here with the remainder of that statement as well. He says, "No reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's cases can reach any other conclusion than Hunter was singled out only because he is my son, and that is wrong. There has been an effort to break Hunter, who has been 5.5 years sober, even in the face of unrelenting attacks and selective prosecution. In trying to break Hunter, they've tried to break me, and there's no reason to believe it will stop here. Enough is enough. For my entire career, I have followed a simple principle. Just tell the American people the truth. They'll be fair-minded. Here is the truth. I believe in the justice system, but as I have wrestled with this, I also believe in raw politics. It has infected this process, and it led to a miscarriage of justice. And once I made this decision this weekend, there was no sense in delaying it further. I hope Americans will understand why a father and a president would come to this decision." Again, that was the full statement coming from the White House. President Joe Biden now agreeing that he will be pardoning his son, Hunter Biden. We did want to get that breaking news in for you here on Live Now.
Shocking, right? Absolutely shocking that Joe Biden would pardon his dear boy, his sweet son, his no trouble getting in Hunter Biden. And friends, I will never forget President Donald J. Trump. Few years back, he made this thing, "Where's Hunter?" That went like super viral. I can't remember. It was a rally. You know what? I think it was that Sarasota rally. I can't remember. And he said it on the mic. "Where's Hunter?" And the crowd picked it up. Man, t-shirts were made about it. Everywhere you went, "Where's Hunter? Where's Hunter?" And everybody, and I made so many videos about it. "Where's Hunter?" Whenever it came up, we were like, did you all ever have that moment where did you have to say that? "Where's Hunter?" It went everywhere, man. People loved it because it was like he was hiding, and we would say, "Where's Hunter?" He's hiding in the bathroom, in the bathtub, smoking crack, because that's when the pictures of him and smoking crack in the bathroom, and that laptop from hell came out, and all of those videos and pictures of him with naked women, like having crack parties, came out, and it was like, "Where's Hunter? He's laid up in the house smoking crack." That's where Hunter is. Where's he now? Laid up in the house smoking crack, I'm sure. So, George, thank you so much. If you're still here on the stream, George says, please like and share. So this is a direct request from a person watching, George Kerr. Thank you, George. Really do appreciate it. Thank you and welcome. And we have 7 eyes right now. This is telling me we got 7 people in the chat. So, on the stream. So, hey, friend, drop me a like. That's appreciated. That's appreciated. Drop me a like if you're here. 7 of you, 7 likes. I'm expecting 7 likes. Or, I don't know, just say, I don't know, no thanks, but just write me something. So next, we would like to move into our friend, Justin Trudeau from across the pond, and how he has, he was here over the weekend at Mar-A-Lago. And I have a couple of different clippings on that. I would first like to take it from the overseers. So we're going to tap into a news outlet from overseas who's going to talk a little bit about this. And then we're going to hit with our Fox and Friends. They have a beautiful clipping on that conversation. And then we're going to hit CNN because as you can tell, they have some issues with this as well. So without further ado, we're going to go into our friends across the pond talking about Justin Trudeau and his visit here to the U.S. to kiss the ring.
Came together, Ian, very quickly, and you're quite right, was quite a big surprise. It is a significant meeting at a significant moment for this country. Let me tell you a little bit about who is down there with the Prime Minister, as well as some of his key advisors, his Chief of Staff. Justin Trudeau has brought along Dominic LeBlanc, who is his Minister of Public Safety, the Minister, of course, in charge of the security at Canada's borders, which is such a key concern to the President-elect. Sources tell us also that Trump has some key members of his cabinet nominees there at the table tonight. Governor Doug Burgum, who is the Interior Secretary, also sort of known as Trump's energy czar. Howard Lutnick is the Commerce Secretary. This is the man who will be dealing with trade and could put those tariffs in place. And finally, Mike Walls, he's the National Security Advisor. He also would be very concerned about the border, is a very outspoken critic of China. The dinner officially got underway around 7:30 Eastern, Ian. It's not clear when it will end, but it is clear that there's a lot riding on this moment.
And Rosie, take us through some of the politics at play here.
Yeah, it's been a very challenging week, Ian, for the Prime Minister, for the country, for businesses, for premiers who all got this social media post from Donald Trump on Monday and kind of panicked, frankly, about the reality and the crushing impact this would have on Canada's economy. Justin Trudeau had an emergency meeting with premiers on Thursday to talk about a Team Canada approach. The face-to-face meeting here that they have managed to get is as I said, very significant. It will allow them to try and better understand some of the concerns that the president has and allow Canada to explain what it is already doing to address some of the president-elect's concerns. A political win, certainly, to get the meeting, Ian, but there is a lot at risk if there is no good outcome here, and it will be Justin Trudeau who wears that if he doesn't get something out of tonight.
Rosemary Barton covering this breaking news for us tonight.
So, if you guys are not familiar, Justin Trudeau is having problems on the home front. His community hates him. His countrymen hate him. He's done a terrible job running the country, and he is up for re-election. And the country is saying, no, we don't want you. We want somebody else. And so I actually made a video last week in reference to Justin Trudeau and some of the things that he's been putting out there recently, and that he is trying to fix the wrongs that he has done to the country. One of the wrongs he's done, open borders, people are coming in left, right, and center, flying them in, all that. And so now he's put out a video saying that he wants to, sort of cut this thing at the knee and stop bringing in so many illegals because their infrastructure is just not able to or equipped to handle that. So now they're saying no to the immigrants coming in. And, people are saying, it's too little, too late, friend, because you've already ruined the country. And so he has somebody, his name is Pierre something, who is his opposition at this point, who's, I guess, running to replace him. And so Justin Trudeau sees this writing on the wall. And so I think he's seeing an opportunity for him to come and maybe work with America. But Trump is saying, not so fast, friend. We got some things that we need to deal with. First of all, we need to deal with this illegal situation between our countries and all of this fentanyl coming in from China through your country. We're going to have to handle those things before anything else. Because in this scenario, America comes first, and we're willing to work with people, but we've got to put America's needs above everybody else. So anyway, he went to Mar-A-Lago to talk about some things, and I'm not sure how that has gone thus far, but we're going to take in a news clipping from Fox talking about this meeting and their thoughts and opinion. And this is Fox and Friends giving us a little bit of more insight and their thoughts on Justin Trudeau and what's happening with Canada and the US and how these tariffs could become, a real power play for us and Canada, because again, our main concern is securing our borders, removing these fentanyl and things like that. Those are our concern. And of course, trade is, because again, we are the consumers of all of these countries. They send us everything. We barely send anything out. And it's time for us to change that. So if they want to continue to consume us, then it's going to have to be on our terms, right? It's going to have to be on our terms. So we're going to take Fox and Friends, and Friends, and we're going to hear what they have to say. I think I'll change the layout of what we're doing. Let's see.
This event from Mar-A-Lago. Justin Trudeau made his way down to meet with President-elect Donald Trump. He also was at a dinner table, you can see there, with Howard Lutnick, the incoming Secretary of Commerce, and his wife. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, incoming lead of the Interior Department, and his wife, and Mike Waltz, Trump's choice to be National Security Advisor, along with his wife. You can also see there the Senator-elect from Pennsylvania, Dave McCormick. Trudeau brought some of his cabinet as well to have this dinner, where they wanted to discuss the proposed tariffs Donald Trump has talked about with Canada and Mexico.
Yeah, this sounds like a super fun dinner conversation. Well, let's look at those proposed tariffs that were discussed at that dinner. 25% on Canadian and Mexican goods, 10% on all Chinese goods, 41% of total trade to the U.S. is from Mexico, China, and Canada. We're looking at a total of $3.1 trillion of goods.
That are imported total.
That are imported totally. This is a big deal because we don't export as much to them as they send
China
to us.
specifically.
Yeah. And so this is a big deal. I mean, Justin Trudeau and Donald Trump ideologically opposed, and yet you see Justin Trudeau. I'm going to read you this quote. You're going to see how conciliatory he is. He's not messing around. He understands he can't play games here. This will deeply affect Canada. And so this is a quote from him earlier on Friday. He says, ultimately, it's through lots of real constructive conversations with President Trump that I'm going to have that will keep us moving forward on the right track for all Canadians. It's important to understand that Donald Trump, when he makes statements like that, he plans on carrying them out. There is no question about it.
That could not have been written by Caroline Leavitt and been better for Trump. Like, that is absolutely what Trump wants people to hear and read. And maybe it was coordinated. I think he's genuine when he says that. But what he's saying is, hey, that strategy that President Trump campaigned on and told you would work, it's working. It's working on me as the Prime Minister of Canada. There was a similar situation with Mexico last week. Now, that president, she's come back and she obviously got pushed back, I think, afterwards. But the end statement was, we're going to work with you here, from both Canada and Mexico now. And Trump's promise was that he probably wouldn't have to put these tariffs into effect. The threat of the tariffs and them knowing he'll follow through will get us the result we want. And I want to make sure Americans know the result we want is a secure border, is fentanyl and bad people staying outside our country. And I think that if our neighbors or our friends, like Biden wanted to say, then they should want that for us too.
The border is one of the issues. The other thing is Donald Trump actually believes this could be a good revenue stream. He's talking about using the money from these tariffs to help pay for some of the tax cuts he wants to bring back, but more importantly, to lower the deficit, which we're at $35 trillion now. He's saying within a year we could maybe bring that back by over $1 trillion.
Well, Stephen Moore, the co-founder of the Committee to Unleash Prosperity, was on Fox and Friends earlier to talk about these tariffs.
I think the outcome is going to be positive for the United States and for Canada and Mexico. I mean, we all should join together. The whole Reagan vision was that North America would be a large free trade zone. Well, part of free trade cannot be allowing these chemicals and these drugs into our country. I mean, it's so obvious. So I think that what's going to happen, because look, Canada and Mexico have to trade with the United States. We do have leverage over them. And I think in the end of the day, they will cooperate. We will reduce the amount of these illegal drugs in the country, and every one of us will be better off. So I'm positive about this. I think it's going to be very favorable to the United States, and we're going to reduce this scourge of drug overdoses in our country.
These particular tariffs, these specifically to Canada and Mexico, are designed to affect policy change. And that policy change is a more secure border.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here.
So you've seen that. You heard that. That was a great take from Fox. Really enjoyed that. And, just a quick note. So, yes. What President Trump wants is for America to be stronger, for Americans not to die from drugs coming out of China, and for our borders to be secured. Therefore, we don't have this oversupply of a whole bunch of people that we have to take care of. So if these people really are our friends, then shouldn't you want what's best for us? Right? You should want what's best for us. Because if you're my friend, you want what's best for me. And if I'm your friend, I want what's best for you. And so if we're friends, then we should be able to say to other people who's trying to hurt us, say, no, you know what? That's not a good thing. Don't do that to them because they don't deserve that. America doesn't deserve that. And if we're there, and if we're friends, then you should stand up against the bullies and say, we're going to band with America and say no to these things, even if it's the people walking across Mexico. Mexico's our friend. Then Mexico, what you gonna do about all these people walking through your community, your country, bypassing you and coming to us? You literally left the road open for them to come through. No, if you're friends, you're going to say, stop, wait a minute. Where you going? No, you can't do that. America's our friends. So talking about that, I have another clip from CNN. I kind of jumped ahead of myself with these thoughts because I already had that prepared for that take. But I want to put this one in. This is now CNN talking about just what we just looked at, Mexico, that president, and Justin Trudeau and what's happening there. So, but we take it from the point of view of a panel conversation in reference to Fox, not Fox, to CNN and how they present it. Now, we all know that CNN sucks, and but you know, I thought that this was a good take to take on reference to all of the different thoughts on there. We do have a conservative on that panel who is going to bring the truth, but you know, the others are going to push back because you know, they're always carrying water for the Democrats and Joe Biden and you know, their failed policies, right? They're always carrying water for them. So here we go, CNN and their 2 cents on the conversation.
Now with analysis. Brian Morgenstern, I want to start with you. You served as Deputy Press Secretary for the White House during Trump's first term. What is your reaction to hearing what President Biden said, calling Trump's tariff threat counterproductive?
I think President Biden is wrong and President Trump is right. When Trump was in office for 4 years, he used tariffs quite effectively to negotiate a better trade deal with both Canada and Mexico. He uses it to achieve policy goals like spurring domestic manufacturing, economic growth, bringing in tax revenue. Here he's even suggested that he could use it to help with our immigration problems. I think that's right because both Canada and Mexico are very heavily dependent upon U.S. markets. We do have leverage there, but it's really about supporting U.S. workers and U.S. companies and using these to achieve policy goals. And he did it once quite effectively. Inflation was minimal at the end of his term, even while using these tariffs. So I do think that President Trump will do what he did last time, which was use these things to bring our negotiating partners to the table. It may create a little friction in the short term, but it's going to lead to stronger relationships in the end. So he did it once, and I think he's ready to do it again.
So these are my thoughts on what he just
Megan
said.
Hayes, Biden said this in a rather...
What happened there? Where did my thoughts go? They ran out of my brain. Oh, looks like I've lost it. And I've lost my spot. Oh, here it is. We're gonna just leave that there.
Megan Hayes, Biden said this in a rather... He was visiting that fire...
Oh, we've had 0 technical difficulties up until now. Right? Dang it. All right, I guess we'll just leave it there. So yeah, these are my thoughts. And I said, yeah, I do agree that Trump did it once and he can do it again. And I also agree, let me just make this even. Yeah. So I do agree that Trump did it once and he can do it again. And so when we look at everything that he has done, Trump has already proven himself. He's proven himself with what he's done, the tactics that he's used, the tariffs and all of these things. He's done it. And it's just going to be 2.0 on this new administration. So again, we already said it, if these people are our friends, if these countries are our friends, they would want the best for us, right? So yeah, they're not going to use their country as just a walking area for people to just come into the country, leaving that doorway wide open. No, they're gonna play ball, and they're going to do what's best for America. And yeah, it's going to be a win-win for Canada. It's going to be a win-win for America, right? It's going to be a win-win for everybody. All we want is for you to respect us and what we stand for and our policies, and we'd be good to go. We'd be good to go.
Megan Hayes, Biden said this in a rather informal setting. He was visiting that firehouse in Nantucket, but the comments were quite pointed. What did you make of them?
Yeah, I think that he understands what tariffs, especially for Canada and Mexico, can do to the middle class. I mean, a lot of economists during the campaign were saying that this would add $4,000 to the bottom line for middle class families, and that's not something that people can afford right now. So I do think that he's speaking from that. I also think that he doesn't feel that we need to be bullying our neighbors to the north and to the south. So I think that's probably what he was going for there.
Sure.
So this woman, we don't need to be bullying our neighbors from the north and the south. We don't need to be bullying them. No, shouldn't bully them because they're our friends. We shouldn't bully our friends. So, friend, is it okay for our neighbors to take advantage of situations like this whole border situation with our friend from our Mexico friends? You know, them literally, their country has left the doorway wide open, right? And these millions of people are pouring in. They're essentially just sitting back and saying, y'all go keep walking, keep moving. You going to the US? Keep moving. I made a video yesterday, go check it out, about young kids being found on the border. And here they go, they're in a line walking through. Where are you going? I'm going to New York City. I'm 15, I'm going to New York. I'm 13, I'm going to Chicago. I'm 10, I'm going to Florida. All of these young people walking in on their own. Where they're walking in from, friend? They're walking in from Mexico. And they're coming from El Salvador and all kinds of different countries. So if Mexico is our friend, Mexico would be like, y'all, you can't do that. You can't. We're not going to be used as a walkway into America because America is our friend. And so if we are saying we're not going to bully people, that's technically we are being bullied. I mean, millions and millions of people are coming in. No, we need to hold Mexico accountable for all of these people using their land to come to this country. And if we need to use tariffs to do that, if we need to bully them that way, then that's exactly what we're going to do. We got a leverage, friend. It's called leverage and negotiations. Let's continue.
Shortly after Trump spoke with Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum on Wednesday, Trump posted on social media, I want to read this quote, that Mexico will stop people from going to our southern border effective immediately, which was then followed by this statement by the Mexican president saying, quote, we reaffirm that Mexico's stance is not to close borders, but to build bridges between governments and peoples.
Before that person comes on, I just want to throw this in because never forget during Joe Biden's run in 2020, when he said that we are not going to build walls, but we're going to build bridges for people to come on down. So this Mexican president is saying we're not going to build, we're not going to close borders, but to build bridges between governments. So, friend, how about you build the bridge, they walk into your country, and the bridges, they stay there. How about that? How about they stay in your country? Since you're welcoming, you're not going to close borders, but we'll close our borders and they stay in your country. How about that?
Jasmine Wright, what do you think of these contradictory statements and what they say about that relationship between the American and Mexican president going forward?
Yeah, I mean, it shows that they have a really different impression about what that consequential first conversation is, and that they may have some issues going forward. Now, of course, if you look at what President Biden was able to do over the last 4 years, yes, there have been major critiques over his what he's done on immigration, but something that he's really focused on is strengthening his relationship with our partners, both to the south, Mexico, and with Canada. Necessarily not with the current president, who who hasn't been in office since Biden took over, but certainly all the different administrations. And so I think that he's really nervous that Trump could kind of torpedo the work and the legacy that he has created for himself over the last 4 years. But of course, this is going to be something that the president-elect really focuses on as he tries to show the American people that he can both maintain and increase the economy. Already he posted that Americans are feeling better about the economy since he was elected, even though he's not yet in office, but also his promises on immigration, these mass deportations, and trying to slow the crawl of migrants to the border. But of course, President Biden has already done a lot to lessen the amount of people coming over the southern border, and Trump will be taking that over. But this is going to be a really important relationship for Donald Trump. And I think that people close to Trump have no doubt that he is going to put in tariffs. I think the question is, what does that look like, and to which countries are the most impacted?
So here are my notes on her thoughts. So Biden didn't need any help in torpedoing his presidency. They did that all on their own, right? They did that. And so another thought I'd like to throw in here right now is that President Trump, so right now during the election, Biden talked to Mexico, and so there hasn't been as many people coming into the country as before. So with Trump coming in, I'm sure that conversation is saying, well, I'm going to need you to keep the deal that you had going on with Biden, because the people has been coming in less. You've been doing something. And I know it was agreed upon for during this election, but we're going to keep that friendship and that momentum going, because we're not going to let you just let it be. And therefore the border just, the masses keep coming. No, we're going to, whatever deal you and Biden had going, we're going to keep that talks. So Trump also has a great track record of keeping his, of working with, well, I can't even read my own notes. Trump has a great track record of working well with world leaders. We see that in Putin. We see that in Xi Jinping. We see that in other leaders. And so we saw that before with the previous Mexican president, right? Because the Remain in Mexico was put in that way. So we know that Trump is able to negotiate with other countries and put America's interests first. And so I don't see why he couldn't tango with this woman. I'm sure he could. It's again, they need to put their country first. We put our country first. If everybody put their countries first, it's a win-win. And Trump makes his points and wants us to be, he wants to be very clear about what he wants. He doesn't want to play games. He doesn't play games. And he's telling you like it is. This is what I want. Play fair, do the right thing, pay your fair share. If you don't, then we're going to have problems. And so he will now exercise the power that is Donald J. Trump and the power that the Americas hold, right? He's going to exercise those powers. You need us. We need you, but you need us too, right? So peace through strength is how Donald Trump presents himself to the media, to the public, to these foreign leaders. And let's get some business going. Let's do some business. But you got to respect us and respect our rules and respect our country. So those are my thoughts. As
we just got this new reporting from my colleague Elena Treen that the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is dining with Trump at Mar-A-Lago tonight. Trudeau has said that Trump's tariffs would also hurt Americans. Megan, do you think that tariff threats are the best way to secure the border?
No, I don't. I think that it's going to raise prices on the middle class, and I don't think that's what we need to be doing. Over 70% of our vegetables come from the southern border, and I just don't think, like, we don't have the ability to produce in our climate here that kind of needs, and that those prices will be passed on to the consumer. So I'm just not sure that threatening our neighbors is the best way to be doing this. There are other ways that I think that we can achieve some policy goals here without threatening them.
Okay, so here are my notes and thoughts on what our friend just said. This is exactly the America Last mentality. So these foreign leaders need to know that they will not get away with taking America for granted or taking any more from America. Maybe we should start farming our own lands more. Hey, well, how about that? She mentions that, we count on other countries for produce and all of these things. Why can't we just farm more? We used to farm a lot. Why can't we just farm more? Right? And if there's things that we can't grow here, then maybe we just go without. Like, we're literally talking about a country who is obese from chemical foods, you know? So if we can farm here and produce our own without having to go to other countries, we should do it. And this really does bring up the whole drilling situation here, because we can drill here, we have oil here, but they prefer not to. So we probably have vegetables and things and different things that we could grow here, but because of environment and all of these things, they prefer not to. So again, with the oil situation, we can do it, but they prefer to go overseas and purchase from overseas when we have abundance of oil right here in America, in Texas, in where else? I think, oh God, I forget. There's another area, Dakota, I think, maybe. I can't remember, but we have oil everywhere. So they, again, oh, it's climate change. It's climate change this and it's climate change that. So again, just the example of the food, maybe we are able to grow more here and be less dependent on other countries. And, if we put our soil to work, maybe God will bless us and we can start to be fruitful in our land, So that's just another thought. I'm no farmer or nothing, but I'm just saying maybe we should be able to utilize our soil for what it can grow in this country, right? And what else? America last mentality, over and over again. They all are better, right? Okay, yeah, they better play ball. So they better play ball because Trump is going to put America first. Okay, what are we doing? We're gonna make this bigger. So yeah, so that's where we are, friends. And I want to say that this has been a great conversation. Thank you, George, for participating in the live stream. Really appreciate you, friend. And everybody that came through the live stream, really do appreciate you. I'm going to continue to do this, and I hope more people show up. And I thank you for showing up. And we right now currently have 3 in the live stream. And I want to say thank you for sticking it out with me. And George, thank you for sticking it out with me. And we're going to end the stream. And I want to say God bless you all. I'm going to try to do this daily. I do have some traveling happening this week, so I'm not sure how that's going to go. Maybe I'll pre-record and then just drop the content via regular means and not do like a live like this. But I want us to continue this, and I'm really excited because this is really going to craft the conservative poet as a streamer, as a live streamer. You heard? Thank you. So God bless you guys and keep you. And we're going to leave. George, again, God bless you. Thank you, friend. Really appreciate you. And, oh, I didn't play any banners. What are we doing? We're doing, no. What are we doing? Oh, we did do that. Get 30% off Orlando Patriot. We're going to do that. And, oh, yeah, by Christmas. Do you think God can do a miracle? 50 subs by Christmas? At least give me 10,000 by Christmas, friend. I can work with that. And what other banner we got? We didn't play during the stream. And we're going to play some of our... Okay, so we're leaving the stream. Oh, here it is. So we're going to exit out And I'll leave you with my Patriotic Clubs video. I do have a $4.99 where you can help the channel out that way. You can help the channel out by super chats, thank yous, and so on. But I'll leave this with you. That way you can see my travels. This is a collage of videos over the last couple of years of me being out on the ground doing the work, and rallies that I've attended and things that I've done. So this is what you would get. You'd get to see pictures of me behind the scenes doing these things. So here is our Patriotic Clubs video, and I'm going to leave you there. God bless you and keep you. Still here, friend. Still here. Bye. See you. God bless.